Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you, enjoyer of podcasts. If you've been following me for even a little bit, you probably have caught on to how much this community, myself included, loves the creations of Michel Gondry. More on that in a second, but first, welcome to the Music Video Guy podcast. I'm Maui, the music video guy.
And I'm Carla, your resident girl at the rock show.
Hey, Carla.
Maui, a couple of days ago, you set this stack of DVDs in front of me
Yes.
and you told me this is the pantheon of music video directors.
Mhm.
And we had Romanek, we had Jones, and so on. But there was one documentary that you said was imperative that we watch. And that docu was Michel Gondry, Do It Yourself, directed by François Nemeta. And, I got quite the education, not just about Gondry, but
Mhm.
also about his longtime AD, Francois Nemeta himself.
That's right. Francois was instrumental in much of their legendary portfolio, including their music videos for Bjork, Daft Punk, Sheryl Crow, the Rolling Stones, and so much more. So you can imagine my excitement when one time I did a reel for Massive Attacks Protection. So there was very little I could find online on how it was made. So I kind of jumped the gun and uh, gave my educated guess on how it was made. And apparently I was completely wrong. So 10 minutes after posting that video, I see this comment from a guy named François Nemeta, and he so kindly corrected me on how they actually produced it. We direct messaged each other, a little bit of back and forth, and long story short, he agreed to come on board to our podcast. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to our podcast director Francois Nemeta.
Hi, very nice to meet you and to talk with you today. Yes, thank you for the invitation.
Well, very cool of you to join us, Francois. Are you in Paris right now?
I'm not in Paris. I'm in the south of France. I'm in Marseille,
Hmm.
and it's a nice city with sunshine today, and it's 10 a.m.
Just so it's clear for our listeners, Carla and I are in Manila. So our energy levels are a bit different, but hopefully today we get to meet somewhere in the middle.
Thank you for starting the day with us.
I'm full of energy.
That's great to hear. Are you busy right now? Are you making any music videos or writing any scripts or are you producing any films?
Actually, I'm writing. I'm in the middle of a um, writing of a fiction, a film, a feature film. So that's my next project, and I'm writing two documentary too. So I'm working on those two projects, and apart from that, I'm trying to find to collect some to find some ideas for a short film too, and but not really any music videos these times.
Well, great to hear that you're busy regardless. Speaking of documentaries, though, last year you came out with the documentary Michel Gondry "Do It Yourself," which is sort of like a retrospective on the career of Michel Gondry. So you used to be his assistant director and collaborator. And in that documentary, you tell this amazing story of watching Oui Oui clips on TV. You were fascinated by this UFO, this great unknown of a band, and literally going to a concert to find out that the drummer was the man making their videos. Did you immediately recognize a potential collaborator in each other? Or if not, how did you build that relationship?
Um, I was in cinema school, and because I really was enjoying music videos since my teenagers years, and I was like when I was like 13, 14, I was like always stuck on TV in the evening. There was this French program at the very end of the day, which was called Bonsoir les clips, which means good evening music videos between 11:30 and midnight. Basically, there was at the very end of the day, for the people who couldn't sleep, basically, there were 45 minutes of music videos, and they were always very well chosen. I was discovering really every evening. I was like, oh, I will not miss Bonsoir l'équipe tonight. And then I had this little moment of music video lover. And I was always in the day thinking about, oh, one day if I could do some music videos for my favorite bands, that would be awesome. I was probably 18 or 19, and there was still this program on TV. And I was a music lover for a long time. I have a big collection of records, and I was really the music lover in my class and in my school. I discovered these Oui Oui videos. I was amazed because it wouldn't look at all like other music video that I loved. Very special, very different. And I was like, okay, I like the music too. And at some point, and someday I realized that Oui Oui was doing a concert not so far from my home. I decided with my friends, we went there to the concert to see this strange band, which would not appear in their music videos, but who had this very uncommon music and UFO music, let's say. And
Mm.
with these music videos that strange and and I went there just it was really easy because there were maybe 50 people in the audience, so it was quite kind of easy to go at
Mm.
the end of the concert and talk with them and say, "Hey, we love your music. I do love your music, and your music videos, who does that? Because I'm a big fan of music videos." And the drummer was this guy who was putting back his stuff, and he said, "Yeah, I'm doing the music videos." And it was Michel, and that's the day we met really. And so I told them I really love their music, and I thought maybe you want a music video, I could maybe work on it. And he said, "No, no way. I'm doing the music videos for this band because this is my band. So if you want to do some music videos for another band, well, find another band. But this one you won't do the music videos." I was like, okay, and that's fair enough. And then I was already starting a film school, and so I was like trying to understand how films were made and music videos were made. And so that was a really beginning of the meeting of of Michel and I.
Just to follow up to that, I mean, how are you able to, I guess, earn a bit more trust from him since he didn't want you getting involved in the beginning? How did you manage to convince him eventually to let you get in on making some videos together?
Well, I was following what he was doing, and then I was we had made just a little for fun. We had made a fan club of Oui Oui, which was called it was fun because it was called Oui Oui Are the World, and it was it was the well, I was like talking with them and sending them notes, and we would meet once in a while just to talk about music, and that was it really. But I was following what he was doing, and he was at that time he was starting to do some big names in France already because
Mm.
his style and his music videos were so amazing. I would say amazing. Some people would be just uh, amazed, but not in a good way. Let's say he was not that popular at that time. You know, music videos in France were a very small business, and some people
Yeah.
were doing music videos for nothing or for very little money. And Michel had those fun ideas and really different from many other. And he managed to do some quite nice videos for some artists. I'm talking about Jean-François Cohen, for example. Uh, and and then there was this big video for Les Négresses Vertes, Les Wampas, all these bands, rock bands uh, that were quite a little bit famous in France. Not the biggest artist, but they were quite famous. And then there was a couple of big hits that he did. Uh, Number one was I Am, the rap band I Am with Je Danse le Mia, which was this amazing video. And that made him really, it made really big in France. It was the number one selling records the year it came out. And Michel
Hmm.
was one of the biggest already after 4 years of video, 5 years of videos. He was the biggest music video director in France at that time.
Mm. How did you learn how to like since you became his AD, you started as an assistant, became his AD. How did you learn to speak like him? Like, how did you learn to be the translator in all of that? Because as you said, not
It
everybody
took
liked
time.
him. Not he did not have like a hard. He did not have the easiest time getting into the industry, and you
No,
that was
it,
part of your
it,
documentary, right? So
it took time.
how
It
did you
took
do that?
time really, because basically, yeah, it took a few years before I started working with him. Really, it took me little years. I had to finish my cinema school, and then trying to work as an assistant, and then I went to see him again, and he said, "Yeah, let's work together. Let's if you want to be my assistant, come on, because I need some." I start to have a lot of projects, and he was collecting a lot of good projects. And then there was this Björk videos which was arriving, and he said, "Yeah, I have to work for this Icelandic artist Björk." And I told him that I already loved her because I was a big fan of her previous band, which was the Sugar Cubes, and I was a big fan of that. And he said, "Oh, I didn't even know them." And then I told him, it's great to work for her." And he would start to explain to me what he had thought, and I was like, okay. So I don't know how I translate it, but I started to maybe to understand better than the other what he had in mind,
Yeah.
because I don't know, it's just a kind of let's say maybe a visual. I understood what he meant visually, and what it could be visually, and maybe for other people it was less of an evidence. I don't know really. But I
Well, maybe
started as I started to work with him on this first on human behavior, then on a commercial, and then
Mhm.
I 2 years later I was like his assistant all day, and for whole weeks. I could understand really better what he had in mind, because I was seeing him drawing, and we had a conversation. So he would explain me, okay, this is what I have in mind, and for this I want to do that, etc., etc. So I got it because I had the discussion directly from him. Otherwise, yeah, people who would arrive on a set and would not have discussed with him would it would take it would take time to understand. They would take time to understand, and sometimes people don't want to understand too much. They just want to do their part, to do
yeah,
their jobs,
yeah,
and without without being really interested. But
yeah.
yeah, in Michel's case, as I was his assistant all week and all day, I was like understanding what he meant. So that was I sometimes I say I did first a cinema school, then I did a Gondry school, which is another kind of
Yeah.
it's a very good school too. And, and I understood a little bit more of what he had in mind. So sometimes I try to think a little bit like him, but it's still very
And
difficult. So I became a kind of translator then, because I had to
yeah.
explain to some to the people we worked with. Yeah, this is what Michel wants. This is what. So, and sometimes it was difficult. Yes.
Actually, speaking of school, like in your documentary, you did say that you know one of um one of the things that Michel Gondry taught you. He was this beautiful line in your documentary where he treats a bad idea like a sick child. Remember that? Like he doesn't throw it away. He nurses it until it becomes a good idea. I mean, as a director yourself, like because I kind of picked that up along the way, like learning his stuff and doing my own things. Like did you adopt that philosophy that some bad ideas do become healthier over time with care?
Yeah, you have to. Michel takes really good care of his ideas. That's true, and he treats them like sick child. That's a very nice idea. Actually, I didn't. I, I never thought like that. I have to admit, I really, it's, it's, uh, it's, it's really him who does that. But it's the solution. I mean, it's the only way to give birth to strange ideas and to, of
Yeah.
course, it's a very, very good way of thinking. And I'm not as self-confident as him. I mean, he must have a good self-confidence to do it like this, and he's always been like this, thinking, okay, this doesn't work, so let's make it work. This can't work, so I'll try my hardest to make it work. And that's exactly that's the difference between creators who go who push so hard to have their ideas done, and creators a little bit more lazy who don't push as much as him. So I have to admit, sometimes I'm a little bit more. Or I don't have enough self confidence to push as hard as him in these ideas.
To be fair, I'm like that 90% of the time also. Depending, like most, like if it's commercial work, I won't do what he does.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That's probably the difference between good workers and the step genius step. I don't know. I don't know if it's hard worker or genius, but anyway, he thinks like that, and he commits himself to that, to the art, and I don't. I don't all the time.
Not all the time.
ninety
Well,
percent of
same.
the time. Yeah,
If it's a commercial for soap, I won't do it for sure.
exactly.
Well, Francois, this method certainly gave way to some really, amazing iconic videos that
Yeah.
to this day are studied, to this day are part of the conversation whenever the topic of music videos
Mhm.
as a format comes up.
Yeah.
And so let's dive into a few of those,
Mhm.
starting with arguably one of the ones with the greatest reach outside of certain genres, and that is Daft Punk Around the World. And this video is so interesting because it's got that technicality that we know that the both of you, you know, are known for. But in this video, it's so interesting because that technicality is expressed practically because you've got each set of dancers representing a different musical layer. Did you have to adjust or change your approach to do it differently from your other videos that maybe more of the heavy lifting was in pre and in post or one or the other? Did it have to be different for Around the World?
Michel had this idea of putting some different um, dancers to do different layers in music. So again, it was his idea. If he was sure about it, so he would dive into it and put all his energy in it. So of course, it's not a conventional idea, and that's what Michel likes. I think he does not want to do it the way everybody else does it. That's his signature. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to do it the way the other people do. So as an assistant, I was just doing the way he asked. So okay. For example, for the lightning, in this video, there's those all those big bulbs, light bulbs with colors in it. He had this idea from the beginning, and it was there. He had this idea to do it with his brother the way he wanted, etc. And we could have done it so much easier, like the normal way with projectors and colorful. But as he wanted it to move and to be always the changing colors, etc. So he wanted to do it the way he thought and the way he had already invented with his brothers 10 or 15 years earlier when they were like playing when they were teenagers discovering electricity and trying stuff. So basically, they were like inventing this 15 years earlier. That's kind of amazing, but and it came from a
Hmm.
very simple, genuine idea. These lights, and they made it big. That's the only difference is that. And about the dancing, he had this in mind, and basically he didn't want to do it the way it's usual.
Yeah, and he had competition too, right, Carla? Like with Spike Jones. It captured, and you captured quite well in the documentary as well, that they seem to have this friendly but tense competition between those two. What effect would you say that relationship had on the way you guys were, making music videos?
It
Because
was so fun because I was there on the evening we were at the Troubadour, this club in LA, and Michel was living in LA since a few months, and I had followed him. I was like in LA with him, and we were hang out and be invited to concerts. And we just had done, or we were just before the making of the video for Chibomato, and we went to their concert in LA, and there was this guy who understood who Michel was, and he, he would talk with him, and at some point, Michel thought he was the best driver. That was hilarious, but it was Spike Jones actually. It was Spike, and they were like talking about music videos at that moment, and Spike was so great, and they had this. Yeah, because both of them on their own were working, trying to make some great music videos. So there was a fake competition, but as a competition, all
hmm,
the music video directors. I am friend with other music video directors, and we talk about stuff. Oh, how did you do this one? How did you do this one? And it's exactly what happened between Spike and Michel. The fact that they were two very successful and very creative music video directors, it was the only difference. But it was not a competition. It was something like a little bit. Yeah, Spike was much more at ease in LA because he's from California, from LA, so
Yeah.
he knew the surroundings. He knew all about this business. And at that time, Michel had just arrived in the US. He had just arrived in LA, so he was. I was with him, and we were like a kind of discovering a little bit the city, the mindset. And they were okay. It was much more easy for Spike, obviously, and there
Mm.
was this yeah, kind of competition, but it was just for fun.
It was so nice watching their interaction in your documentary, and to see
Yes.
how even at that time when they were sat down together, how they interacted with each other was so entertaining to watch, really. And you come across so many different personalities in this industry, right? And another part of your story when we in the documentary was that really stood out to us was the whole moment of Michelle meeting Björk. And you described it as this symbiosis, and you said it gave her confidence, and they kind of blossomed together when they started working together. So, I guess from your perspective, what was it about Michelle and your entire team working collectively that gave these big stars like Björk the confidence to see you two guys. Frankly, this couple of French guys, not from the area. Frankly, maybe not as much budget as those big production houses, right? What was it? Do you think that gave these huge stars like the Rolling Stones, Kylie Minogue, to say, you know what? Let's give these guys a chance.
Yeah.
Um, well, Michel and Björk had a good this relationship based on ideas, based on creativity, and they were like make make videos the way they really wanted, and without caring about what the other people would say. They just don't care. Björk is like this. I mean, it's obvious when you look at when you listen to her music. She just doesn't care if it's going to be successful or not. She just doesn't
Yeah.
care if the people are gonna like it or not. She's just an artist, and Michelle at some point she gave him the confidence to think a little bit like this, and to be like not caring about if people are gonna like it or not. It was just not their purpose. So they
Mm.
thought about. They started to do music videos like this, Human Behavior, the first one, and then Army of Me, Isabel, etc. It's like it's exactly they were doing their story without really caring, because at some point the music industry, and in particular Björk's record company, her label, which was called One Little Indian. I think it's still the same people who own it, etc. They had built this label around her to make her confident, and to make her to give her the possibility to do whatever she wanted. And as the music industry uh, around was not thinking really like this, Björk and One Little Indian, her label, were doing their videos exactly the way they wanted. And she was basically the difference between them and the other is that in a way she was paying for the music videos she wanted herself. I mean, she
Mm.
wanted it to be like this. Okay, if she had
True.
to put money in it, she would do it without caring about if the label and the record company are gonna like it, etc.
Mm.
She would not care about that. She would not care about the money. She would care about what she wanted to do, what she wanted to achieve. So if she wanted to work at some point with directors like Stefan Sednawi, like Spike Jones, etc. She would do it. And with Michel, she had built a relationship like this. Like, I want to do the videos. I want my videos to be incredible. I work with incredible directors, and that gave me Michel. That gave Michel the confidence to put the most crazy ideas and
Yeah.
to to do the videos that they wanted, both of them together. And after that, big artists, other than Björk, like the Stones, Kylie Minogue, American artists like the Black Rose, etc. They saw those videos and they said, "Okay, who's that? Who's the director of those videos? We want videos like that." And they turned to their music, to their record companies, and they said, "Okay, who's the guy who does those videos? We want to work with that guy." And that's exactly what happened with the White Stripes and all those big names. After that, they just wanted to put some art and to put some creativity, more creativity than the others in their music videos. So they were confident. Well, if they liked what Michel was proposing them, they would say, "Okay, you're the artist. We trust you. Do a great music video for us."
Yeah, and like me, as I was in college right around the time you guys were making your music videos, from 1999 to around 2005. I graduated 2005, but I started learning film in 2002 to 2003, and I got the DVD, the works of director Michel Gondry DVD, in class. So we watched it together, and what's
Okay.
yeah. So I automatically, like, we started, like, absorbing a lot of, like, the learnings, like that. There's certain things that you don't need to conform to. If there are certain ideas that you have that you really have to get out, you find a way. You find a way to bring them out. And there for what I got from Michelle's work is that obsession with puzzles, and and mechanics, and a lot of my peers also got that from him. We even had like a cardboard a cardboard phase. We use production design for everything. And if you would look at music videos from the Philippines, I mean, a lot of us picked up on that. um, you, however, like someone who's very close to him, what we noticed, especially with my favorite music video from your filmography, was Mojo's "Lady" or "Lady," and you seem
as
to
popularly known.
I noticed that you seem to have steered yourself in a different direction. You steered yourself more towards, atmosphere, naturalism. You have this more languid way of telling your story. It feels more human. It feels less robotic. Was that a conscious decision for you to move away from, the Gondry style when you started directing for yourself?
Um, I I had done a few. When I was working with Michel, I was like puzzled and amazed that by the whole universe he was creating, the visual universe, the visual. Well, I mean, I was like amazed to work with this guy, and Michel was so nice with me, and we were like good friends working together. And I was learning. I was in school with him really all the time. But at some point, he told me, I told him I want to do music videos myself. And he said, "Yeah, you definitely should." And there was this um, moment on a Björk video, which was Bachelorette. On Bachelorette, we had basically the production could pay me, but they were like, "We cannot pay you everything, all that you want." I was like, "Yeah, okay." They had a limited budget, let's say.
But yeah,
And they said,
yeah.
"Yeah." So I told them, "You know what? we need, and Michel wanted to shoot with a 16 millimeter Bolex at the beginning and at the end of the video. So that's the
Mhm.
sequence basically where in the beginning she has there's Björk all by herself, and then in the end
In the
she's
forest.
back in the nature, back in the forest.
Yep.
And for this shot, we needed a Bolex 16 millimeter camera. At that time,
Ah.
we were in Hollywood, and we were like, okay, we have to buy one. And so I told the producer, Julie Fong, she's a great producer in LA. And I told her, you know what? You have to buy it. So buy it, and I keep it after. And that's the way I get paid. And she said, okay, deal. So she bought this camera, and we shot with it. And after that, I kept it. And that was the deal. And I was like, okay, now I have a camera. And Michel and I he would explain me, okay, this worked like that, etc. I was like, okay, this is a very good camera. And he explained to me why it was such a great camera. It's because basically it was invented for the Vietnam War. Uh, for the no, not for, but it was invented for journalists who would go on war uh, by themselves, and it was like the first handheld camera that you can use all by yourself. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly the camera that I want, because I will be able to do a film just myself with this camera. And you don't need electricity, you don't need nobody else with you, you are just by yourself. So I thought, okay, I will do it, well, do it yourself. And that's what Michel told me basically. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself, and I will do what I can with this camera. And it's the camera that was used in the French New Wave in the 60s, like by Jean-Luc Godard and all those filmmakers would.
Yeah.
It's a very light camera, and I had this light camera, and I said, okay, with this camera I could do some very complicated stuff like Michel does, but I'm not this kind of guy. I'm much more into let's shoot uh, in a very organic way, in a very light way, just simple stories, and that's much more my style. And I'm not clever enough. I'm not crazy enough. I don't know. I'm not a genius enough to think mechanics, mathematical images. I wish I could sometimes, but I just can't. And I was like so bad at mathematics. I'm like, I'm not this kind of guy. So I thought, okay, I'll do it the way I figure the more authentic I'm able to shoot. So I thought I'm gonna shoot much more in a way in the 1960s way, very natural and very simple way. And when I showed Michel, I did a couple of music videos, and then the video for Modjo, "Lady Hear Me Tonight." I showed him because I was quite kind of proud, because it was working the way I wanted. It was exactly there was this feeling, there was this alchemy between the actors that I had achieved, and I was very happy and proud with it. So I showed him as like a pupil, showing to his master. You see.
Mm.
And I showed him, and he said, "That's so great! Wow, I'm so proud of you because you don't copy me." He was very happy that I was not copying his style, because he was like always his style has been always copied. And I mean, many music video directors or many commercial directors would look at what he was doing and trying to copy, etc. And he was always, when I was working with him, he said, "Yeah, look at this one. He 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 took all my ideas. It's a ripoff. It's a scandal. I should sue them." He never did, of course.
Well, and
He couldn't stand
you
that.
did mention that in the
He couldn't
documentary. You
stand
did say.
basically. He couldn't stand that people were copying him. But in a way, it's a kind of homage. But anyway, so I was kind of proud to show him this video and to tell him, "See, I'm not copying you." And he was like, "Yeah, that's great. You're not copying me, and you've got your own style, and it's great. So keep on this way." So I kept on doing music videos the way I wanted, more simple, less mathematic, and maybe more dreamy, or I don't know, different.
Let's bring it back to your documentary. We have a moment there where we're at the point of your your careers where Green Hornet was made, and there was this lesson that kind of broke through in that time.
Yeah.
And in the documentary, you cover the frankly the difficulty that Michelle had in Hollywood with the Green Hornet, and where the machine, as one would call it, the machine sort of crushes the creativity. Now, of course, you work in advertising and in music videos. In your own way or in your own thoughts, how do you fight that so-called machine today? Is it harder to quote unquote do it yourself in 2026 than it was back in 1995?
Or
Is
2000.
it harder or not?
Or
Is it harder? It's always been harder to put I mean, let's say 90% of the production is always is the same. It's always the same. I mean, there's 10% of the market which is made with good ideas, etc., with trust, with confidence, and with people who want to have creativity. So I would say this didn't change that much, really. Um, there's still a lot of pressure, but there was at that time too. Um, I think it doesn't change that much. I mean, there's always hopefully there will always be some people who want to have a lot of creativity, and there will always there will always be people who don't really care about creativity, but much more about money and how much they can do, and how much they can make. So there's always I think the pressure is still the same, and some people want to have the ideas, and some people want to have the creativity, and they go towards it, and they give confidence to artists and to directors to do their music videos or commercials or films, and and I think this doesn't really change in a way. I'm not sure I can really if it's clear
no worries. Like
for
I
you.
actually I would like to add to that. Like I mean, we're in the same industry. I do music videos for a living. I'm an editor. I do commercials every month. And
Mhm.
I guess I agree. I completely agree, and my camera just broke again. Hold on. If there is one thing, I mean, if there is one thing that I would say has become easier, and it's purely just because of age. I mean, I'm 20 years older than I was when I started, and I think if there's one thing that's easier, it's easier to push back just because I'm smarter now than I was back then. But only just that. I mean, it's still hard. Clients still want the craziest stuff, and they will push you back even when the deadlines are way over the horizon, they're like tomorrow, and they will, no, we want to change this sequence completely. Like the pressure is still great, but at least we're smarter now, I think, which says a lot. I don't know, which says a lot about like what kids are going through now. Because I teach undergrads, I teach college students, and they were asking me today, like, what does it take? What does it take to be successful in our field? And all I could say was, well, you kind of have to be disciplined. That's always a requirement, and you have to be different. That's one thing that you have to be to survive in a creative field, because nobody wants to hire someone who's just like everyone else. You have
Exactly.
to have that something extra, and part of that is stamina and resolve, and the ability to say there's a smarter way of doing that. So yeah, I hope they pick up on it and use it.
I have students too, because I do some teaching in cinema schools now too.
Mhm.
And I tell them, basically, I was working with a group of students last week, and they were trying to do a music video, and they were thinking about it. I was like always pushing them, like, more creativity, come on, put your your ideas, put them at risk, and take risks, and be more creative. Think about it again, etc. Don't think it's easy and you have in 10 minutes you have your idea. No.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Agree.
be better than the AI. Be better than the influencers that do videos and that kill your job. That influencers that take a phone and do a video, and that's it. And it's nothing. There's nothing creative in it, but it takes your job. It's terrible. And AI too is like, okay, it's so easy. You just type a prompt, and the machine will do it for me. Be better than that. Be more creative than that, or otherwise you will die. Otherwise, you will be eaten by the machine. So be better than the others. That's the only way to. A little bit of creativity will probably save the world, as Jack Black says in my documentary. I think he's right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
completely.
it's so nice to hear this from the two of you, because I mean I'm also a create in the creative industry here in the Philippines, and I am constantly under the thumb as well of the machine of whoever is the corporate client, and they always just often just want the same things, just make it safe, just make it color within the lines and color with the colors that we tell you to color with, you know and it leaves it makes it so difficult to be creative and to break boundaries, as we've been talking about here. But um I guess it just creates a new challenge for us in this age to kind of put more intention into wanting to do creative things,
Mhm.
even if it means doing it outside of work or outside of school.
Mm.
So thank you both. I think this was even for me listening to you too. It's been really lovely to kind of get this pep talk from the two of you as
Us
a creative
oldies.
myself.
I'm glad it helps someone talking about it. It always does help that, like, as far from like just spreading it in the wind, it gets picked up somewhere.
I mean,
Speaking of,
yeah, I have a good
yeah,
example, because last
yeah, go.
when I was doing the documentary and I was interviewing Michel, and he was fighting hard to make his new feature, and he was fighting against the TV broadcaster who would put money in the film or not, and he was like, he had a negotiation with them, and they were like, they were not so happy with the script, and they said, "Oh, but the hero of your story is not sympathetic enough." And Michel was like, "Yeah, but it's the way this guy thinks, etc. That's my hero, and he's in a bad mood, etc. But that's like this. And they said, yeah, but they want they were like fighting against Michel, like trying to have to be listened, and they wanted the guy, basically the hero, to be sympathetic, and Michel didn't want. So at some point, it was the negotiation was either you choose to uh, change your character, to change your story because of us. Otherwise, we don't support financially your film. And Michel was, well, sorry, and I won't change my film. And so he didn't get all the money he wanted to do his film, but the film exists and is great, and and it's not exactly what the TV channel, the broadcaster wanted. It's less sympathetic. It's much more with uh, depression in it, but it has much more story, and it's much more like Michel wanted, and it's less a commercial product, and it's much more an artist film. So Michel does it the way he wants, and it's a great. I mean, to me, I refer it to a lot of times. Okay, let's not um, give everything, give our ideas for money, but fight a little bit more. Let's fight a little bit more for our ideas. Otherwise, they won't exist, and otherwise, the industry and the machine will win. So let's fight against the machine, fight against the the the
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my
average,
career goals, Francois, to be
fight
able
against.
to say, well, sorry.
Yeah, we need more Michel
Sorry, but
Gondrys and François Nemetas.
Exactly, exactly. We need a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit of creativity would probably help the world be better.
Yeah. And
But
I'm like the
sometimes,
world's
yeah,
all the
yeah,
more richer for it. Yeah. Like I'm a filmmaker. I'm this kind of filmmaker because I watched your stuff. I'm like all those years back. That helped me. It may not have made
great.
producers happy back in the day, but I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm making films and commercials. But I'm making films
Yeah.
as well.
At
Yeah.
some point, you lose a little bit of money, but you make a great film, and that's what will be left after us.
Yeah.
Our
The
films.
legacy of the legacy that you leave
Exactly.
behind. Exactly. Yeah. So like
Exactly.
what's your if you had one music video to pick either from your time with Michelle or you as a director yourself, what's that music video that you would put into a time capsule to explain, creativity, French creativity or creativity in general to a student, 50 years later? What music video would that be?
I always show them to my students. I already show them Daft Punk a lot. Mm.
Hmm.
Just because it's it captures this moment, 1995 to 2000, French creativity as its best, with the best in a term of music and in terms of images. I
Yes.
show them this one a lot, but my favorite would be more poetic, maybe. I would be more Jean-François Cohen, La Tour de Pise.
Hmm.
It's on
I have
the it's you see
I
it?
have not seen
You
that,
see
but I wanna like
ah,
yeah.
incredible. Let me see if I can see it. I do have it.
Is
It's
it
on the DVD.
it's on the
It's on the
DVD. Okay.
DVD.
Yeah.
Yes, part one. Because but it's very French. Meaning
That's
it's
fine.
You have the lyrics, the French lyrics of the song, which are illustrated. Each word is an image. And it's like a lyric video. It's just like a lyric video, but homemade. And with 40 years before the lyric video moment, which is now. Basically, there are a lot of lyric videos now. And this one was made 40 years earlier, and with just a camera showing the neons in Paris and doing a fabulous
Montage.
lyric video with just neons in Paris, and it's just beautiful and poetic, and I love this one.
We'll put it in the capsule.
Yeah, put it in the capsule. This one, I think it took 1 year, 1 month of shoot.
Wow.
No money at all, but just a beautiful, very beautiful moment. Very poetic. I love this one, and it was shot in Bolex by Michel, and very little money, and it's only pure creativity. For me, it's like a little jewel.
So, Francois, something that a bit of a tradition that we're starting to develop here on the Music Video Guy podcast is to have a little quick round where we will name these certain awards, and we would like to ask you to choose which of any of the music videos that you've been a part of, either as director or as an AD, you would give these titles to. So, let's give it a try, starting with
Let's give it a
AI
try.
could never. The video with the most human ingenuity.
Wow. That's so difficult. Probably Hyper Ballad by Björk,
Okay.
which is one of
Okay.
my favorite too. This one is so crazy.
Yeah.
AI could
it is.
never.
Okay.
The
Next.
next one is The Hail Mary, the video that you were surprised got greenlit or approved.
Probably one of mine then, because I was always surprised to be greenlit. Probably the first Kings of Convenience video I shot with them. I was like, oh, I can film those guys. I really love their music, and they greenlit me. Wow, it's such a great opportunity. I'm gonna try to put my best in it, the way Michel told me to do. So probably something like that. Probably Kings of Convenience. Yes.
Yeah, and it's always such a rush, to get out of the shadow, especially as big as Michel Gondry's shadow, I bet, So I understand
Yes.
that
Exactly.
completely.
Exactly. Exactly. That
Okay,
was.
next.
I was
Yeah.
like shaking.
Yeah. Okay, next award, toughest production, the one that still gives you nightmares after all these years.
No, that's obviously one of Michel's biggest. The Rolling Stones was the Rolling Stones video, like a Rolling Stone,
Really?
was so big, and it was so big. Yeah, I mean, first the Rolling Stones, bam, big band. I remember at
True.
the very first moment we were in a studio, in an animation studio actually, and Michel told me, or his producer, I don't remember, it was like, hey, you're gonna get a call a little bit later today, and you're gonna answer the phone, and it's gonna be someone you don't expect. The- we hear the the phone rings, that's back in the 90s. So there's one phone in the house, in the studio, and I pick up the
The
phone
kids
and I
wouldn't
say,
know about that.
who's that? And hi, this is Mick Jagger. Can I speak to Michelle, please? I was like, oh, Mick Jagger on the phone. Yes, yes. And
Wow.
at some point, Michel explained me what he wanted to do. I was like, it's going to be a terrible nightmare, and it was actually. So we had
Yeah.
a lot of a long film, long shoot with a concert to organize for the Stones in a backyard in a warehouse. We had to decorate this warehouse. We had to decorate a place where Patricia Arquette would star in, and we had to make everything was big really. And I was so young at that time. I was like, oh, okay. And but I think on this one, there was a proper first AD, and I was like, okay, I'm only Michel's assistant on this one because it's too big for me. But after that, I had all the post production to to do, and it was photos and photos and thousands of pictures of prints, and we had to choose which one would match to do a morphing between those two images to achieve this massive principle that he had thought of, and we had no idea how it would work. I had no idea because I'm not much post production guy. I just hate being in too much post production. So it was a big nightmare. It was a big nightmare, but the result was great.
Fun fact, I actually did directed a music video a few years later and like copied that effect.
Ah,
Not using stills.
you copied,
No,
you
don't
copied.
You're in trouble,
don't
I will
Maui.
tell Michel.
don't don't tell Gondry,
You're
no.
exactly who Michel was raging about.
Or
Exactly.
you could tell him and then I'll apologize to him in person. That would be cool too.
Eh? Hint, hint,
Okay,
wink, wink.
understood.
Hit, wait, wait. Okay, last two awards. Wow, you gave us like a free story. Thank you for that. Last two awards. What's your personal favorite? I think you answered this already, but for the sake of what's your personal favorite music video?
Oh, for personal favorite, yeah, I would. And there's so
Yeah.
many. Yeah, Ballad by Björk is one of my favorite for sure. I love to Isabel because it reminds me a very good moment where and she was so nice. I had a broken leg uh, the month
Yeah.
before. I was supposed to be AD on Army of Me video, and I broke my leg.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 months before. A few days before the Army of Me shoot, I ski and I break my leg, and I spend 2 months in a in a bed, thinking, "Oh no." And Michel is shooting Björk, and I wanted I wanted it so
Oh,
badly, etc.
no.
And I finally recover. I have a crutch, yes. I
Yeah, yeah.
cannot walk very easily. And we shoot in the middle of the waves, which is a very wet area in the UK, and it's
Oh
raining all the
no.
time. And we are in the forest, and I have this crutch, so it's nothing easy. And we were shooting Isabel, which was a beautiful, beautiful video. We were doing this in black and white,
Yeah.
very poetic, very 1930s, 1920s style. And Björk was so nice with me because I would like, it's she would just hang out on the shoot, even when she was not shooting. You see, she was just there just to entertain the crew. She had a ghetto blaster, and she would put music while we were
Oh,
shooting
nice.
some other stuff in the nature while we were, and she was just there entertaining the crew, just with music, doing the DJing for us. And she
Well,
was very nice with me because I was like, handicapped because of this crutch, because of this broken leg, which was not recovered properly. And she was there, and she's very nice. So that's probably one of my favorite moments on a shoot. Isabelle Bjork, uh, shot by
Nice.
Michel
Oh.
Gondry.
I mean, you still remember it very vividly. And that's, I mean, I think that paid
Yeah,
for the fact that you missed the first music video.
exactly.
Army of me.
And the fact that
Exactly.
that your leg was broken.
I
Yeah, yeah,
was like,
yeah.
so no, it can't happen to me. Yes, you have your broken leg. You cannot walk. You cannot walk for 8 weeks. What? So
Mm.
it was a nightmare for me.
My career is over. Ah.
I told Michelle, okay,
Oh gosh.
do one video, but wait for me for the next one. And yeah,
Gosh.
I, when the minute I could come back in the crew, I came back.
Well, worth it.
Mm.
Definitely worth it.
But how lovely you got that other shot.
Yeah.
And one last award to give out. This one is called The Essential Francois, the video that you poured the most of your own personality or heart into.
No problem. That would be Lady Modjo. Of course, this
Yeah.
exactly the video. I did. I had this idea. Uh, I had written this little scenario. I was like, okay, maybe I should do a short film about those three teenagers, young adults. I think it's like this love triangle story, very simple and basic. And and I was very happy to when I get the so my producer sent me this music lady. I was like, wow, it's so great. We have to do something. And I go back home. I think about it, and then I think, okay, this is gonna be the story. I'm gonna propose that, and it's obviously not what they are waiting for. They probably will want something very flashy, very dense, very Ibiza, very I don't know what. Anyway, I'll go with this idea, and I had and so I put a lot of myself like thinking, okay, I don't care if they will want or not. Let's try it anyway. I will, and so I put a lot of myself in this one, and very happy because it went so successful. And it's funny because I have to admit that it's been 15, 20 years now. It's on, I think it's on YouTube since 15 years,
Yeah.
something like
Hmm.
that. And since then, I I receive many messages from all over the world, to be honest, with people who are telling me how important this moment was for them, and their video would this video would give them hope in the future. Would I mean very personal stories sometimes, like, yeah, you know what, I was homeless at that time. I was living in etc. But every time I saw this video, it gave me hope, etc. It gave me hope. I was like, okay, very personal stories. So I'm happy if it had if it has touched uh, many people in the world, in on different continents and in different countries. So I'm very happy of this. At least I have done a little something and made people happy.
Yeah, man. Well, like
Yeah, more than a
definitely one of
little.
my, yeah, definitely one of mine personally. So thank you for that. It's not
Great,
every day that I
thanks.
get to thank a director who influenced me, like, and belatedly finding out that it's you. You know,
Great.
that's just so cool. Yeah.
No,
Well,
thanks
that's,
very
I
much.
guess that's all the time. Thank you so much for being here. That was awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank to you
Like,
too.
Yeah,
can
gosh.
we ask you like one last time, like if there's anything you want to promote or if there's anything you want to say to our audience before you sign off?
keep on
Deep breath.
watching good music videos, be creative, and keep on the good work. That's all I will do.
Yeah.
That's all I will
Thank
say.
you so much,
Gosh,
Francois.
thank you so much, Francois.
Thanks to
Gosh,
you.
so many great stories and great insights from you. Plus, that nice inspirational message for those of us who are still in the trenches of the life of a creative. And
Yep.
I think there's so much that all of us can take home from this. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
do it
Yep.
yourself. All the things,
Do it
all the
yourself.
Do it
ideas, all
yourself.
the
Yes,
ideas
exactly.
you have in mind, do it. Otherwise, the machine will crush you.
Correct, 100%. All right. Okay, so that was another episode of the Music Video Guy podcast. And that's all the time we have. I am Maui, the music video guy.
And I'm Carla, your resident girl at the Rock Show. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one.
Bye.
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 You have been watching MTV.
You're listening to the Music Video Guy Podcast.